What's up, everybody? Okay, Stream Decker works. It's nice. Just trying to get that set up. It's being a little messy there. So the deck that we're going to be playing today is this blue-red tempo historic. You can make this standard pretty easily. It's just Crackling Drakes and Sulphur Falls. And so, really the idea of this deck is to play a bunch of one-drop instants. If you look here, playing 22 instants, 22 lands, 16 creatures. Keep things pretty manageable. So we have these 8 one-drop instants here. This helps fuel Terramander for the, still a one-drop, but it's a great late-game draw because, generally your graveyard's going to be full of these instant sorceries. Frantic Inventory can be a cheeky card if you get like 3 in the top 15 of your deck. It gets kind of ridiculous. Most of the time it's just 2-drop draw 1 or 2. Usually not hitting big numbers out of this thing in this deck. Scorching Dragonfire, this slot's generally Lightning Strike. I'm using this just because the meta's, there's so many Uros, and this card solves that problem pretty easily. And gaining life is, not something we want the opponent to be doing in this deck. So, probably the best counterspell in Standard right now, in my opinion. Flying creatures are not that hard to control. It's not hard to keep one on the battlefield, especially when you're playing 4 1-drop flyers, and 4 2-drop flyers, and 2 3-drop flyers, 2 4-drop flyers. This card's really a 2-drop, so you're kind of playing 8 2-drop flyers. So this card's always going to be online. You're going to be countering a lot of people's stuff just for 4 mana because they suck. Just kidding, they don't suck. This card's too good. Thrill Possibility. This is a change that I made early on to one of the deck lists that I found. This card's just too good not to be playing. The instant speed on this is ridiculous. So if they don't play a spell that you want to counter because they think you're holding up the old Lofty Denial, you just discard a Frantic Inventory. Real Possibility, draw 2 cards. If you draw another Frantic Inventory, all of a sudden it becomes way better than before. Sprite Dragon. This card's ridiculous. It's like Prowess but better, Part of me wants Prowess to just be changed to this all the time. But
luckily, our delivery and free pickup make it easy to grab what you need. So whether it's a few extra buns for the backyard barbecue, or some miscellaneous munchies.
Also, there were some pretty busted Prowess creatures that were already printed, so this card's super good. Haste's very important. It helps take out Tef. Sprite Dragon and a Shock can generally take out most Planeswalkers if you're trying to double up. Brazen Borrower. We all know what this guy does. Shit's annoying. I just got 2 Mythic Rare wildcards, so might be bumping that bad boy up to 4. Go down a couple Shocks. Maybe just take these Scorching Dragonfires out altogether. I kind of like this split right now, though. The Dragonfire, Brazen Borrower split, bouncing some of their dudes, exiling some of their dudes. Crackling Drake, probably the weakest card in the deck. This or Frantic Inventory. Those 2 are the ones that don't impress me that much, but this card can just be an absolute game ender if you hit it after turn 5, pretty much. The real power on this card is the amount of graveyard strategies there are, and if this deck continues to pick up popularity, there likely will be a lot more. It counts the the instant sorceries you own in exile as well as your graveyard. So if they exile your shit, he can still be like a 12/4. The mana cost sucks, but I mean we're dead even here, which makes sense, kinda. There's heavy blue on the count, but we need to be hitting our red, and so the reason for doing an even split is kind of this card, Stormwing Entity, kind of the backbone of this deck. Flying prowess, 3/3 for 5. That's like an uncommon. You'd definitely play in limited, but you probably would never play in standard. Now you add this extra mana reduction, all of a sudden we've got a wonderful card that's ready to beat people down. Which, if you know, it is kind of a deck building constraint. You need to be playing low cost instants or sorceries. We prefer instants here. And when it enters the battlefield, scry 2. So on turn 3, generally this is the flow of the deck, right? Turn 1 Terramander, turn 2 Sprite Dragon, swing for 2. Turn 3, shock a planeswalker or a creature that they've played. Play Stormwing Entity, swing for 3. And then you're just right up into any kind of territory. Once Stormwing Entity hits the field, flying still is just as good as it was. You're flying right over most of their enemies. Now, problems that I've had so far with this deck. Teferi, he sucks. Definitely, that's a tough card to play with and against when when all of your cards are instant speed or creatures. So not great for us. The Cavalier, the green Cavalier's tough to get around. We don't have great ways to deal with that. Generally, we're trying to bounce it back to their hand and lofty denial that. It's the green Cavalier, definitely an issue. Elder Gargaroth, that card also demands an answer, otherwise it just shuts you down. And just making sure you don't overcommit to the board. To me, this deck feels very similar to the Prowess deck from Khan's age, where you would want to have 1 to maybe 3 maximum Prowess